guys, today I'm here to finally discuss Empire Storms by Sarah J. Maas, and this is book 5 of a series, so if you just like stumbled here by accident or something, here in a minute I will announce I'm going to be talking about spoilers and stuff, so you won't want to stay for that. But I'm not going to really tell you what this book is about because it is book 5, so check out those other like discussion videos I have up. I'll link them all in the description. I have one for Throne of Glass. I didn't do Crown of Midnight for some reason. But I did do Heir of Fire, and then I have a 2-part for Queen of Shadows. In total, it's like 40 minutes long. So if you want to discuss with someone just the spoilery sections and all the things, then just go check out those videos and come back for this one later on when you've read it. If you've read the other 4 but not this one yet and you just kind of want to know what I thought of it, I did really love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It is still like one of my favorite series, and I'm so upset that there's only one more. I'm happy Sarah J. Maas has like her other series she's writing currently, and it's so good. But it's just like sad because I love this so much and I don't want it to end. I think a lot of people had problems with some of the changes that we saw in this book, but I thought it was perfect. Like, I love all the side characters. I still love Aelin. I still love Rowan. I loved it how much we travel in this book and we see so many other places. At the same time, I do kind of slightly miss just like the city, and I kind of miss Wendlyn and stuff from like the first 3 books. I know that this needed to happen and that this was important for the story, so it was still like perfect. And so I like that we did get to see like some other things as well. So I really don't know what else to tell you guys before I get into spoilers and discuss it. I don't, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start. So just go, if you haven't read this book, come back, save it, put it in your watch later list, whatever, and I'm going to start talking about some spoilers now. In the beginning, I definitely thought that she would be in Terrasen quite a lot. I thought that she would, like, meet some sort of obstacle there that she had to overcome. Like, I thought that maybe not everyone would, like, accept her or something, but I didn't expect her to not even be allowed in Terrasen. And I cannot remember his name now, but in the very beginning of the book, I, like, hated him. The way that he treated her just like some stupid little child that has not gone through everything that she's gone through. She's gone through so much. She has gone from this like broken girl to this like epic, this like awesome fae queen, this woman. And I loved reading through these books. I loved seeing her like transformation. And I personally think that she's going to make an incredible queen. No, she's not perfect, but I think that she is like what they need, and I think she's what the world needs, basically. It kind of sounds silly, but it's true. So I was very, very frustrated with that. I really was expecting that to go down differently, but you know, this book was so good. I loved all the secondary characters, which I'll kind of like go into that all like in a little bit, but everyone, it was, oh, like, it's so crazy how far everyone has come, and it's weird to think of, like, Lysandra, who I love now. I think she's so strong, and, like, she's saved their butts a few times, and I think one of my favorite parts of, like, the entire book was when Lysandra was in the water as, like, the water dragon, and she just, like, saved them all. But when she kills the 2, and then you find out that those were the babies, oh god, I was like stressing out. I was just really anxious, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna die. That was terrible. But I love Lysandra. I loved her character through this book, and she is such a good friend for Aelin. I'm so happy that after Nehemia that she could find someone like Lysandra, and it's weird how things happen because she used to hate her, you know. And I love her and like Aedion. Then of course there's Manon, oh my gosh, okay. So I was not, a lot of people hated her in Heir of Fire. I did not hate her, but at the same time, I was kind of like, I don't really want to read about you. I want to read about Rowan and Aelin right now. So I never hated her, but I was like, you're less interesting than these other chapters. But I grew to really like her, and then in Queen of Shadows, I really, really liked her, and then now I just adore her. Even though, like, with Dorian and stuff, like, I hope that she still kind of remains, like, who she is, and, like, that doesn't change, because she's just such a great character. I've been hoping that this would be the book that she would, like, leave from her grandma and, like, fight back and stand up for her, and I knew her 13 would stay with her, and I was hoping that this would be the book. And whenever she saves Dorian again. She saved him in Queen of Shadows, and she owed Aelin the life debt, and she let her know that the prince was still alive, and all of that. So she saved him before. And then she saves him again in this book, and because Rowan didn't get there quick enough, and the witches were terrorizing the city, and she kills a witch. It's crazy how things happen. How she, like in Queen of Shadows, was gonna kill Aelin because she was a witch killer, and now Manon is a witch killer. Did not see that coming. I mean, I guess I kind of thought that if she at one point kind of rebelled, she might kill a witch, but I guess I just never really thought about it. Whenever she was gonna have to kill Astrid, though, oh man, I was like, don't you do it. I thought she was actually gonna kill Astrid, and I was pretty upset about it. But I'm really happy that the 13 got away, and that she starts fighting her grandma, finally. And then her grandma drops the bomb about her being like the last Croatian queen. What? And then of course we find out about like in Heir of Fire when she had murdered that Croatian, and that it turns out that was her half-sister, and that she was there for Manon, and that she's now wearing the cloak of her dead sister that she murdered. Pretty messed up. But I'm really excited to see where her story goes, like with the Croatian queens and all that. And I don't know. I was really, of course, her grandma like guts her, and Abraxas like takes off with her, and the bloodhound or whatever that was called was pretty gross and creepy. But I was happy that she wound up with the group. It was a little convenient that he takes her to the ship in the middle of the ocean. But I guess he's really smart and he can fly and stuff. So I was really happy that her and Dorian were like all of that. It was surprising sort of like how some of it was happening. Like whenever he went into her room, I was like, is this like really how this is gonna happen? Like what? But no, I really enjoyed their chapters. I'm really excited to see like what happens with those two and like the 13 and the witches, and I'm just like really excited. And I'm also really scared because her grandma's really, really scary. I also didn't mention, so Aelin and Rowan, I love them so much. I've loved them since Heir of Fire. If you guys like haven't watched my discussion video on that, I can link it in the description, but they're just, I love them together. So a lot of people have problems with them, and if you think that, you're wrong. No. But really, if you're still not on board with that, well, first off, it's book 5 of a 6-book series, so I don't know what to tell you. But I personally believe that I really like the way that Sarah J. Maas has done it. I like that she had Selena, dating Dorian and it doesn't work out. And I like that she has her dating Kale and it doesn't work out. And then she meets Rowan and she really like grows as a person, and she becomes who she's supposed to be, and he is like her equal. Like he is, it's really corny, but like her other half, and he's her mate. And so I love that they're together. I love that it wasn't just the first guy in the series that she's like mated with or whatever. I like that she went through a couple. It was more realistic in my opinion, but that's just me. It was really odd to go from like them hating each other, then through the developing of the relationship as like friendship, and then more than friendship, and then now they're like having sex all the time, and it's like, what is happening? Like I'm okay with this, but it's also like kind of surprising because I kind of felt like I was reading her other series, like A Court of Mist and Fury. I kind of felt like I was reading that for a minute. But it just really hasn't been in the other books. Like it was like kind of hinted at, and then it would be like, and then, okay, then they'd wake up and Kale would go running or something. But I don't know. Speaking of Kale, real quick, I think it's really hilarious. I'm sorry, but I think it's hilarious that so many people are so upset that Kale was not in this book, and I could care less. I recognized he wasn't in the book, but I wasn't sad about it. I wasn't missing him. I'll just be really honest. We are getting a novella, for those of you that don't know all about Kale. I personally just didn't think that he needed to be in the story. He's way out there doing his own thing. We'll read about it in the novella, and I'm sure he'll be back for the last book. I think I could understand if like he was your favorite character. I would be really mad, but it's Kale. He's not a main character anymore. He's like a secondary character. It's about Aelin. It's Aelin's story, and I don't know. It is about the other characters too. I mean, they're really important, and there's even more now. It's just, I just didn't think Kayla was, I just didn't miss him. I'm sorry. Lorcan and Aedion, First off, poor Lead. Like, this book started out, and I was really worried about her. I didn't know how well she would do going through the woods on her own, limping through the woods, and like, she was already kind of starving, and then you find out that Lorcan is hunting her. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Oh, I was so nervous. And then she has the word stone. I didn't like Lorcan at the beginning of this book. I think a lot of people agreed he's not super likable. We like are introduced to him in Heir of Fire, but then by Queen of Shadows, he is not that nice to Aelin and Rowan, who I do like. So when they're not nice to him either, but I mean, they trick him. Like, he gives the word hounds Rowan's scent, so that they, like, basically he almost killed Aedion and Rowan at the end of Queen of Shadows, and they almost didn't blow up the clock tower, or magic almost wasn't released, all because of Lorcan. So the other thing about Lorcan is I don't understand his obsession with Mauve. I don't understand how he loves her. I don't get any of that. So if you guys understand that better, like, let me know in the comment section, because I'm trying to understand it and I don't. So I really loved their chapters though. I really loved how Alid was kind of like softening him. They were funny chapters. It was so, I liked reading about them traveling together. I liked it. I don't know. It was unexpected, but it was really great. And then at the end, you know, I know that like they both really care about one another, which like made me really happy. And like the twins go to kill Lorcan because they're under orders from Mauve, and like Alid like kind of saves him. I still don't know the twins' names. It's like what, Gabrielle or something, and like Fenris or something. I still don't know his name. Of course, by the end of the book, Alid's pretty fed up with Lorcan and all of that, but I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll work it out. Of course, he is cut off from Mauve now, so he's not part of like her like cadre anymore. He's not blood sworn to her. So I still, again, don't understand how that's a bad thing. I don't get it, though. He just lays there like his heart's been ripped out of his chest. And I'm like, get up. Like, do something. Like, a lot of bad things are happening on this beach right now, Lorcan. You need to get up and do something. But no, that didn't happen. I just loved all the parts with Rowan and Aelin. I love when Rowan goes to, like, all of his family members with, like, when they're gonna be like killed by Mauve and stuff. I also guessed that Aelin was not pregnant. I also guessed that she was throwing up because she was going to die. Kind of like, that whole part kind of reminded me a bit of like the Deathly Hallows with Harry and him going to die. Not that that's like the only book ever where the main character has to kind of like sacrifice themselves, but it just for some reason made me think of that. Everything, the plans with Lysandra, they were a little messed up about Lysandra being Aelin, and it was a little messed up, especially like in regards to like Rowan and Aedion, and how like they would have babies, and it was a little weird. I will say that, but you can't say she's not dedicated to Terrasen and that she was willing to do whatever it took. But like the part when like Aelin is sort of like possessed by like that goddess, and then all the stuff with the goddesses, like I don't know how I really feel about it. Like it turns out she's had the lock like this whole time from Elena. Like once you find out everything that happened with Elena, and I don't know, I have like mixed feelings on that, I think. But I think that I definitely think Aelin's willing to sacrifice herself to like save everyone. I mean, especially like look at the ending with Mauve. Before I get to Mauve though, I did guess in the very beginning, like first few pages, when you find out she's not going to Terrasen, and she talks about, like, okay, if you want an army, I'll get an army. And she actually mentions assassins, pirates, like, she talks about that. And if you haven't read the Assassin's Blade, which is, like, the novellas before these books, you obviously would have been clueless. But I instantly thought of the silent assassins. I thought of Ansel. I thought of the pirates, and I thought of all of that, and I wondered if maybe that's what she was gonna do. I read a lot of fantasy stories like this, and there's war, and like I know kind of like calling on old debts and all that stuff. So I kind of thought that was gonna happen, so I really wasn't blown away that that's what happened in the end. I was very excited though, like they have all these people, but I wasn't like, oh gosh, like all these people are here. I was surprised that it was Ansel, and that we thought it was Mauve. Lorcan, kind of screw that all up, but you know, whatever. When Mauve comes though, and she takes Aelin and she whips her, Well, she doesn't whip her. And she puts her in an iron coffin with an iron mask and takes her away to we don't know where. If you guys noticed, I don't really feel like the other books really had cliffhangers, or I felt like they ended pretty well. Yeah, of course she would do book 5 like this. Of course she would end it like this. Of course. So that we have to wait a year to get the last one and just wait and wonder what's going to happen. I feel like I'm used to being like surprised in these types of books. I'm used to, Sarah J Maas is like really good at just surprising me and like, you know, like dropping huge plot twists and just all sorts of things. But I really didn't have as many in this book. I think that it wasn't really until like Rowan was like, "Where is my wife?" And I was like, "No. Please no. What did you just say?" I lost it. Like, when you find out that they secretly got married, I was really upset. And they are for sure mates. I knew they were. I've known for a while, but I was like doubting myself because they never said that they really were. So I doubted myself because I'm like, maybe they're not. Like, maybe I'm just thinking this. Also, Mav throws out there that and then they could have been together forever because in the next few years, Aelin's going to settle. They could have lived forever and ever, happily ever after. I like lost it. I was so upset when it was like confirmed, but like right when she was gone. But when Mav starts talking about Rowan's first mate and how she kind of like twisted it to make him think it was his mate, but when it like really wasn't, and that regardless though he still loved her, he still had a child with her, and Mav was the one that killed her. Are you kidding me? To purposely break Rowan so that he would join her and like swear an oath to her? Are you kidding me? Like, she saw ahead to all this and she knew who Rowan's mate was, and that Are you joking? Like, she specifically chose Rowan for this whenever, like, an Heir of Fire. Like, she knew they were going to be mates. And then he was so broken that he didn't even recognize his true mate, Aelin. And she was really broken, too. Yeah, that so messed up. Like, that whole, oh my gosh, Mav is way more evil than I thought she was, actually. But I mean, they still, like, found one another. They still like healed one another through Heir of Fire, and they still like managed to kind of come back from that like place that they were in for so long. And then I love that. That's why I love their relationship. Again, it's just like, I think it's a really healthy relationship, and I think that it just, I don't know, it makes me so happy. But I love that they still managed to find one another, and even through like all of that. But I was talking earlier about like how I really love Manon. And I really, really loved her at the end when, you know, it was so hard for Manon to do nothing, but she knew she had to get Elite out of there. And so when Aelin gives her the stone, I was like, thank you. Like, I did not want Mom to get those. It would have been all, not for nothing, but kind of. And so I was so happy she gave it to Manon. And poor Manon, like, she probably was like, just kind of dying because she didn't want to like leave Aelin there, but she had to get the stone away. Like, she knew what she had to do. Like, she's kind of a good soldier when it comes to that stuff, and so she like knew her like duty sort of. But Rowan just needs to go and get her. Like, the witches have gone off, Dorian's gone off, that's fine. Lysandra and them, like, Kale is still on his mission, but now Rowan just needs to go and save her, and everything will be fine, hopefully. I don't know where they are, but he needs to get her back. You guys should let me know what, like, you thought about the ending, and just if you freaked out and just everything. I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to try and make this one a little bit shorter. And so I just really want to discuss this book with you guys, though. I really want to talk about how you feel about everything. I want to know everything. I actually really haven't discussed this book with anyone, so I want to talk to you guys about it. I want to discuss it. I'm so excited to discuss it with you guys. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you loved about it, what you hated about it, everything. What you think is going to happen in the next one. Erewhon, like,